It's now my great pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Michael Park. Mr. Park graduated from Nazareth in 1991 with a degree in studio art, and in the past 27 years has established himself as an award-winning theater and television actor. His career began in the Blackfriars Theater and Jiva Theater right here in downtown Rochester. Soon after, he auditioned in New York City for a national tour and spent the following 9 months traveling across the country as Raoul in Ken Hill's Phantom of the Opera. His goal, however, was to be on Broadway, and he has been able to live this dream. His first opportunity came after serving as an understudy for the part of Billy Bigelow in the revival of Carousel. Director Jerry Zaks made Park's dream come true by casting him as one of the leads in Smokey Joe's Cafe, and since then, his Broadway career has included roles in a large number of shows, including The Burnt Park Boys, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and Tuck Everlasting. He is now starring in the Tony and Grammy award-winning Broadway sensation, Dear Evan Hansen. Park also excelled on television, and his career included a 13-year journey playing the role of Jack Snyder on CBS's long-running daytime serial, As the World Turns. Continuing to pursue his passion by working opposite many veterans of the stage, Park earned 2 Emmy Awards as Outstanding Lead Actor. Sprinkled into this notable career also were television appearances on House of Cards, The Good Wife, Chicago PD, Sound of Music Live, and Peter Pan Live. Park met his wife, Lori Nowak Park, when they were both students at Nazareth. They have 3 children, Christopher, Kathleen, and Annabelle, and I am very pleased to say that his daughter, Kathleen, will keep the Nazareth tradition alive by joining us in the fall as a freshman. Please join me in welcoming Michael Park.
That was a nice introduction, Don. Thank you. I had no idea I was so fancy. Yes, I did. I want to thank, obviously, President Braveman, the Board of Trustees, Donna Borges, friends, family, students, alums for inviting me here today. I especially want to thank all the mothers for sharing their Mother's Day. Only mothers would share their special day in celebrating their children. And to the dear, worn-out, exhilarated, and perhaps a touch terrified class of 2018, finally, the long hours and sleepless nights and constant worry of finding a job is here. It's an honor to be here, an honor. I should say I'm humbled to be here. You see, I was not the best student. Academically speaking, it's safe to say that I fully enjoyed the social experience of my undergraduate career. I know for a fact that my mother, Rosemary Coutrie Park, class of '71, was ecstatic when I graduated. Probably the best Mother's Day present she ever received. She still talks about it, and as Don said, my daughter will be continuing the tradition and be the 3rd generation of Parks to attend Nazareth. I rest easy knowing that her journey and education is in wonderful hands. I owe a great debt of gratitude to the crew that surrounded me in the late 80s. It was because of those creative, intelligent, hard-working students at Nazareth who steered me toward a world I live in today that I am most thankful. In fact, the reason that I continued on the path of becoming an actor stems back to one particular moment at Nazareth. My girlfriend at the time, now my wife, I had a better journey than you, Chuck. Lori Novak Park, class of '91, prodded me to audition for Guys and Dolls in the spring production in 1988. Now, I was not a theater major or a music major. In my mind, I was never going to be cast, but it was the allure of spending all this quality time with this girl that I was completely infatuated with that drove me to audition, even though I risked making a complete fool of myself. I had visions of Dr. Farrell, who was the head of the theater department at the time, pointing and laughing at me as I stumbled through the Cider in the Ear monologue. Now, when the cast list was posted, to my surprise, there I was. I was one of the leads, Sky Masterson. It didn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Little did I know that this small moment in my life, this seemingly inconsequential moment, would be the catalyst in what was going to be the next 30 years that would ultimately be my career. It stems back to that one decision, that one chance. It's all because of my wife. And when I told her about the email I received from President Braveman to invite me to speak today, she said, "I'm so proud of you, honey. You couldn't have done it without me." After my senior year, I was introduced to the community theater here in Rochester, where I really started to hone my much-needed skills. Blackfriars Theater, the JCC, were two places in particular where I found myself working my tail off for virtually no money, loving every minute and absorbing as much as those folks would allow me. This was monumental because it introduced me to a group of hardworking professionals and subsequently ridiculously talented people who inspired me. So much so, in fact, that they convinced me I was good enough to audition for shows in New York City, a quest that I never for a second would have done on my own. Again, I was prodded. I'm saying all this to you because there is a possibility that the relationships that you've cultivated at Nazareth and the people that you will meet when you leave here might lead you down paths that you never imagined possible. Don't discount your periphery. Keep it wide open. Be willing to be found. Foster new relationships. Fostering new relationships and nurturing existing relationships are predominant to your success. You can't do it alone. I sure as heck didn't. That's not to say that you won't have your fair share of failures and rejection. Believe me, I've had plenty. I told Ben Platt at his Dear Evan Hansen farewell party that life isn't always going to be Tony Awards and roses from Beyonce. That even he may struggle from time to time, but those struggles ultimately build your character and strengthen your resolve. Some of your worst interviews might lead to some of the most amazing successes. I remember an audition I had for Matilda. It was in front of the full creative and producers. I had this song for the character Miss Trunchbull down pat in my shower. But when I got to the room, song left my brain, gone. We call it going to the white room, a blank space that is vast and seemingly unending. It was terrifying. I don't remember much of what happened, but it was paralyzing. I remember walking out thinking that I'm never going to work again. But the structure that I had, the family foundation, and all the advice I received over the years from professionals I revered and my agents and managers, they kept me believing in myself when I was living in a pool of self-doubt. My very next audition was for a little show on Netflix called House of Cards. I ended up going toe-to-toe with Frank Underwood that summer. So I was really happy. It doesn't matter. Keep working. These stories happened more than you realize, and it reminded me of an article that I wrote for Backstage magazine that I'd like to share with you. I find it fitting because the task was to write a letter to your younger self, giving him advice as he started his career. Anyone familiar with the plot of Dear Evan Hansen knows exactly what I'm talking about and knows how informative writing letters to yourself can be. The title was Michael Park on Positivity, Patience, and Hangovers. Here goes. Be yourself. I'm no laureate. There's no other person in the world like you. Things may get challenging at times, but there will always be light. Always. Don't take rejection personally. It's not about your ability most of the time. I'll admit that you'll get restless at times, but keep your eyes open and ask as many questions as possible. Take notes. Stay curious. I hope by now you know how to shave correctly. Inside joke, but just seriously, you should know how to shave by now. I would tell my 21-year-old self to stay as positive and as patient as you can. Patience is the key in any business. And we all have our own time. Everyone makes mistakes, and mistakes are opportunities to learn. You'll have plenty of opportunities. Use them. Making the same mistake over and over, however, is a habit, so stop doing that. Work ethic is everything, and it's also the first thing that people learn about you. Interviewing is the worst, but we all have to do it. Over-prepare, take chances, experiment. Don't be afraid to fail. Being competitive and being ambitious are two different things. It's okay to be both, just don't be a tool about it. And when your boss gives you a direction, say thank you. Never say I know. It shuts down communication. Being nice costs nothing, so always attempt to be a better person than you were yesterday. Leave your office door open or your class door open as often as possible, and learn people's names. Now, my father, side note, my father, George Park, God rest his soul, was a publisher at the Finger Lakes Times in Geneva, and not only knew all of his employees' names, but knew their spouses' names, their kids' names. He took a genuine interest in their lives and hobbies. It was something that I always admired about him. Do that. Engage. Foster relationships. They go a long way in this world. Call your mother. Tell her you're okay. Every job is a gift, so never take any experience for granted. And no one likes a complainer. But sometimes you just gotta vent. Do it, then be done. Try to stay out of your own way. Life is not always easy, but it can be simplified. Be a present parent when the time comes. Teach. Share. Also, Bloody Marys really are the best cure for a hangover. Sincerely, me. In closing, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the people who are standing beside you and behind you today, your parents, your grandparents, your sisters, your brothers, your family and friends, and the people who you hold closest to in your life. The ones that celebrate the successes and also define how we cope with the ups and downs of life itself, the births, the losses, a new job, a struggle we're having. We need to be sure that we're surrounded by love and acceptance and understanding at all times. I cannot stress enough how having a solid foundation of family and faith will give you the strength that is paramount to overcoming the tragedies and to share in the celebrations like today. Life is a precious, fleeting thing, and it must be treated as such. At the same time, we must always be forward-thinking and try our best to capture as much of this wonderful gift that we've been given as we can. It's comforting to know that these incredible people that are here celebrating our accomplishments will no doubt be there for you when you are doubting yourself, when you are hurting. Rely on them. Rely on your faith. And to the dear, worn out, exhilarated, and perhaps a touch terrified class of 2018, walk confident knowing that you will be found. Thank you.
From your days in student performances through a rising career that continues to earn you international acclaim, your life's work has demonstrated extraordinary dedication and commitment to the arts. Your early years of performing in regional productions led quickly to national opportunities and soon to performances on Broadway. Your career expanded to include television with the role of Jack Snyder on CBS's long-running daytime serial As the World Turns, in which you starred for 13 years and for which you earned 2 Emmy Awards as Outstanding Lead Actor. You have continued to enhance your television credentials with appearances on celebrated shows such as House of Cards and Chicago PD. Your recent return to the stage has been successful and varied, with roles in productions such as The Burnt Part Boys, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, along with some of the genre's brightest talents such as Daniel Radcliffe, John Larroquette, and Scarlett Johansson. Most recently, you have starred in Tuck Everlasting and in the Tony and Grammy award-winning Broadway sensation, Dear Evan Hansen. You have generously shared your expertise by teaching master classes to Nazareth students, and you have received the Nazareth College Outstanding Alumni Award in 1998. The accomplishments you have achieved throughout your career are numerous, and your exemplary dedication and commitment to the arts has made the Nazareth College community proud. It is our honor to confer upon you the degree Doctorate of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
By virtue of the power vested in me by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and by the trustees of Nazareth College, Rochester, I confer upon you, Michael Park, the Doctor of Humane Letters degree, with all the honors and privileges thereto appertaining. The honorary degree is a traditional means to recognize distinguished individuals who have made significant contributions to the college over an extended period of time.